So I went a bit crazy with the Betamax collection recently. I have added quite a few tapes. This pile were all bought from eBay, and this pile was actually very kindly donated to the collection. So let's take a closer look at what I got. So start with the pile of tapes that were donated, very kindly given to me by my friend Rob, a guy I know from the retro computer scene, and I still have contact with, still talk to him regularly. So these are all beta, obviously, and yeah, some uh, some dodgy ones in here, but we'll have a closer look. The first one here is the key, which is sort of a blue movie, but I watched part of it, and it's not a blue movie by today's standards. Basically, you see some boobs in it, and that's about it. It says even more daring than the Emmanuel films, so I don't remember seeing an Emmanuel film back in the day, but if they're tamer than this, then in my opinion, they don't even need an adult rating. So yeah, this has a certificate 18, and yeah, there's very little to see in it. It is an ex-rental tape, as you can tell from the stickers. It's made by Embassy. This obviously isn't the original case, but the tape and the original cover is there, and it seems to play fine. Next, we have another Embassy movie. This is A Man, a Woman and a Bank, and it stars Donald Sutherland. Unfortunately, someone has been at this with a pair of scissors, and half of the inner sleeve is missing. So I have no idea what that's all about, why that would have been cut up, unless somebody needed parts of it for an art project. I have no idea. Again, not the original case, and again, it is an ex-rental tape. I have actually watched this one, and it's not a bad movie, and yeah, sort of late 70s, early 80s, sort of crime drama with a hint of comedy. Next one is another Embassy. It just has a photocopied inlay here. It's not the original case again. And again, it's an ex-rental tape. And I haven't watched this one. I put it on and it seemed to play fine, but I haven't actually sat down and watched it yet. But it's basically a spoof on Friday the 13th. This is Saturday the 14th. So yeah, it's basically a spoof horror movie. I'll have to try and find the sleeve, replacement sleeves for these, hopefully, at some stage. Next we'll have, now that's what I call Music 6, and I don't believe this is a rental. I believe this is just a one you would have bought in the store at the time. Some absolutely terrible tunes on this. The first one, One Vision by Queen, is pretty good. And then we'll have Fergal Sharkey, Kate Bush, I Got You Babe by UB40, Uncle Sam by Madness. Yeah, there's some couple of good songs on here, but most of it is not my taste. Bit of a rip in the case there, but that's fine. And this one is a tad mouldy. There's a bit of mould on the tape there, not an awful lot, so I have yet to try and get this open. There is security screws in some of these tapes, so they can be a real bitch to get open, to try and clean that mould out, but I will endeavour to get it back to playable condition. So I believe that one's in its original case and has its original slipcover. Next, we have A Fish Called Wanda, absolutely classic movie. This is not in its original case, but it has the original inlay, which is in good condition. And this is another mouldy one. Can you tell why these were donated? So I have had mouldy tapes like this before, and they can be cleaned up. It just takes a bit of patience. Again, this is an ex-rental from Ronsad Video in Cambridgeshire. I'm not actually sure if this is the original case or not. It does have inserts there, but I think this is for a VHS tape. Yeah, it definitely doesn't fit a Beta very well. And last of the donated ones here is Lemon Popsicle, which I haven't watched also because this one is also mouldy. Not the original case, not the original inlay because this is another photocopied one. And again, it's from Ronsad Video. So another ex-rental, I believe. And again, a bit of mold on this one, not too much, but needs to be cleaned before I'll put it in any of my players. So 6 donations there, all of varying interest and condition, but nice to get some free tapes into the collection for sure. So these are the cassettes that I bought on eBay. I believe these are all ex-rentals as well. So as you can see, first off I have Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. Original inlay, original case, and of course original tape. And no mold on this, perfect condition, and plays really well. Sat and watched it on Beta, even though I have it on DVD. But yeah, it's just a bit of a nostalgia trip to sit and watch these old movies on Beta. The next one I bought was Return of the Jedi. Yeah, paid a few quid for this one. It was on Buy It Now, and I put in an offer and got it for a bit cheaper. So I'll go through the prices of these at the end. Yeah, you do have to pay a few quid for beta tapes for the good movies, the ones that everybody wants. So again, this is original case, original inlay, and original cassette, ex-rental. Little tiny bit of mold on that one, just on the cassette there, on the edge of the tape, but not enough that I'll even worry about cleaning that. Next is an absolute classic, one of my favourites, Big Trouble in Little China. Again, an ex-rental, original case, original inlay. And unfortunately, this, well, it doesn't have any mould on the tape, but it doesn't play very well, this one. Yeah, it's very unstable. Picture jumps about all over the place, and messing about with the tracking, you can get it pretty good, but then it doesn't seem to last very long and sort of moves about, and you have to keep constantly playing with the tracking. So this one isn't in the best condition, but it's still nice to add it into the collection. I'm not that upset about it. I have this on DVD as well, so I'll not cry too much about it. You can see there, $66.50 was the original suggested price for this, and that's because it was an ex-rental. And the last and most recent one I bought is Terminator. Yeah, I actually got this one for far cheaper than I was expecting. I bid about twice what I actually paid for this. This was on auction, and Yep, original cassette, original case, original inlay, and again it's an X rental. I was really happy to get that one. I was expecting it to go for big money, and it didn't. It was cheap, much cheaper than I thought. Few marks around the plastic on the case. Looks like a dog's been chewing it at some stage, but not worried about that. The inlay and the cassette are pretty good, and it plays perfectly. Again, a set masters. So the prices on these things, they're not cheap. Like I said, to get the good movies like these, you do need to be willing to pay a couple of pounds for them. So Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, I paid £21 for, which I thought was a pretty good price. Return of the Jedi was a bat now. They wanted £40 for it. I put in an offer of £30 and they accepted it pretty much straight away. So I thought that was okay. I've seen that going for more than £30, so I thought that was not a bad deal on that. Big Trouble in Little China, I paid the same. I paid £21 for it. It was on auction. That was on auction. That was bad now. So £21, just coincidence, exactly the same price. And Terminator, I paid £17.50 for, and I had actually bid 30 quid on Terminator because I really wanted it. It was on auction, and it went for 17.50. So I was surprised I got it. I was expecting it to go up into the £20, and I wouldn't have been surprised if it had been outbid at £30. So yeah, they're kind of pricey, which is why I don't buy Betamax videos very often. You probably think, why the hell would you pay so much for a cassette that's 40 years old on an obsolete format? But it's a nostalgia thing, it really is. Pretty cool to get these into the collection. I haven't added really. The last tape I bought was about 4 months ago or 5 months ago when I bought Conan the Barbarian. And before that, the last time I added a proper retail tape into the Betamax collection was 20 years ago. So yeah, it took a bit of a notion to add some cassettes. I think that's going to do me for a while. It'll probably be another 20 years before I buy more tapes because it gets expensive and I really don't have the money to throw at it, every week or every month. So that's a total of 10 new movies added to the collection, which I'm very happy with. And I need to sort out uh, cases and inlays for these ones that were donated, the ones that needed, and try and get the mold off those tapes so I can actually play them. So there you are. Hope you enjoyed watching, guys. Just a bit of a ramble, really, of showing off these new cassettes. Don't forget to leave a comment, like and subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.